What's going on, guys? UFC Tampa. We're back at it again to make our picks. Last card of the year. We're coming in hot. First fight of the night. We got Piera Rodriguez taking on Josephine Knutson. Who you got in this matchup, E?
Tampa Bay, Florida, we back, man. Shout out to the pandemic, yo. Shout out to Florida, held us up, man. Shout out to them. Shout out to the governor. We'll be back, man. One last card to end the year off. Kobe Covington. But let's get into this chicks fight, man. Let's get into it. Starting the night with a couple bangers. Just kidding, just kidding. Josephine Knudsen, 28 years old, predominantly a striker. Piera Rodriguez is also a predominant striker, but she's 32 years old. Y'all know how I feel about that. And I'm going with the younger fighter most of the time. And this one is gonna be another one of those times. Josephine is 8-0, currently what 2-0 in the UFC, 3-0 if you include in the Contender Series. And Pierre Rodriguez is simply not quite as active. She fought twice in the last like 2 years. And her last one was back in 2022. So this is kind of an easy prediction. I'm gonna have to go with Josephine winning this by a unanimous decision. And I also like the idea of having an undefeated women's contender. So why not? Josephine Knudsen, I'm rooting for you on this one.
Yes, sir, man. I'm gonna have to agree with you. I'm going with Josephine the Thunder in this one. Pretty easy pick for me. You got Piera Rodriguez on the other end, man. Her only wins in the UFC after the Contender Series win is Kay Hansen and Sam Hughes. I mean, couple of meatballs. They've been both. I think they're both no longer in the UFC. Not quality wins at all. And then after that, she got a real opponent in Jillian Robertson, who's a beast. Jillian nearly took her arm home with her. You know what I'm saying? So Pierre Rodriguez, I don't really feel like she's on that UFC level. Josephine in her last matchup, she beat Julia Pilastri by unanimous decision. And Julia Pilastri beat the brakes off Corey McKenna in her last matchup. So Josephine Knudsen, everything's pointing towards she's legit and she's gonna be a real contender in this women's strawweight division. And we need fresh blood, man. So
Yes, sir.
I'm hoping for, a knockout victory in this one for Josephine. On to the next matchup. We got Davy Grant taking on Ramon Tavares. Surprised to see the vet in Davy Grant a slight underdog, but Ramon Tavares is a young beast. They don't call him the Savage for no reason. This fight is gonna be at catchweight, 140 pounds. Give me your thoughts on it.
Yeah, man, just looking at the fight initially, Davy Grant, 38 years old at bantamweight, Ramon Tavares, 30 years old. Y'all already know how I feel about that. Ramon Tavares, 1-0 in the UFC and most known for his fights against Surrey City. He got knocked out in their first fight, but everyone thought it was an early finish. And then they ran it back in his debut in the UFC. And then he won that split decision. And then I feel like he arguably could have lost that one too. On the other side, we have Davey Grant, man, who's a solid fighter, solid vet, always puts on good fights, went to split decisions with both Adrian Yanez and the undefeated Dan Marcos, man, who was fighting later on this card. Dude is just a straight up gamer. Shout out to Davey Grant. Even has a knockout win over Jonathan Martinez. Jonathan
It was
Martinez is a
bad.
bantam, is a
It
bully,
was
bro, straight
bad.
up.
He caught him with that hook in the pocket, and Jonathan Martinez didn't know what hit him. He was gone.
And not many people do that to Jonathan Martinez, just FYI.
Facts.
Martinez does that to everyone else.
Martinez is a beast.
Straight up, straight up. So that's a big win right there. The odds for this fight are pretty even, and I can see why, but y'all know how I feel. I gotta side with the younger fighter, man. Even though I wasn't too impressed with Ramon Tavares, I feel like the prediction I'm gonna have to go with him, and I think he wins this one in a unanimous decision, probably even a split decision. But I feel like this one should be our overall great scrap. If Grant was a little bit younger, I'd go with him, but I gotta go with the young blood in this one.
Yeah, man, I agree with you. Ramon Tavares, he's shown that he is persistent and he's a dog, man, straight up. In his contender series matchup, he got an absolute killer. He fought Serhi Siddi. We all know Siddi's a monster. But in his next matchup, he got a KO over Cortavius Romeus, who's another fighter who just recently is on the winning track in the UFC. And then the next matchup after Cortavius, he rematched Serhi and got the job done by split decision. So he's showing that he's here to stay and he's here to win and he has a lot of heart and he's a dog. He's a very balanced fighter. He has solid grappling. He has solid stand up, and he's a lot younger than Davy Grant. Davy Grant is nearly 39 years of age. Davy Grant is a beast. He's very durable. He's hard to submit. He's hard to knock out. So I don't see any of that shenanigans going on in this matchup. I think Ramon Tavares is just going to straight up beat him by decision, probably 29-28. Davy Grant's going to get a round off that veteran shit, But Ramon Tavares, it's his time now, man. Sad to see Davy Grant, a vet, going out like this, but Ramon Tavares is no slouch, so no shame in that. On to the next matchup. We have Miranda Maverick taking on Jamie Lynn Horth. Canada's finest, baby. Give me your thoughts on this matchup. Jamie Lynn Horth, when we both got that prediction right, baby, in her last
Yes,
matchup.
sir. Emphasis on Canada's finest. You heard? Three fight win streak for Maverick, and she's a huge favorite in this one. 27 years old. Jamie Lynn Horth is no slouch though, man. Even though she's slightly older, she does have the height advantage, and I also think she might have the advantage in the stand-up, being that she's a predominant kickboxer. But I do see Miranda Maverick taking this fight to the ground, where she has a solid advantage, and I can see her winning rounds based on ground control, just taking her opponent down. So unless Jamie Lynn Horst just like catches her on the feet, which I don't really see happening, especially at the highest levels of women's MMA. There's not many knockouts in this on this level. You feel me? So I think Miranda Maverick just got the tool package. She got the full package actually. So I'm gonna have to go with Miranda Maverick winning this by unanimous decision, and she's also a huge favorite. So I don't see, I can't really go against that.
Yeah, man, I'm in agreement. I'm not gonna say Miranda Maverick's a lock in this matchup, but she's the closest thing to a lock, man. I mean, it's hard to see her losing this matchup. I don't think Jamie Lynn Horth could catch Miranda in a submission. Miranda has the edge in the grappling. And I don't think she's gonna be able to knock her out because Miranda's more young. She's younger. She's more durable. She's more aggressive. She walks forward more. Honestly, I think she has better striking too, technically wise. So she's as close to a lock as it gets, Miranda Maverick, and I think she'll get it done by unanimous decision, 30-27. I don't even think she'll drop a round in there. On to the next matchup. We have Miles Chapo Johns taking on Felipe Jungle Boy Lima. Felipe coming in with that nice and juicy undefeated record. Miles John, 3-0, three straight victories in the UFC. He has a no contest in between, but he's looking good in the UFC, man. Give me your thoughts on this matchup.
Yeah, just to correct you, man. Felipe Lima does have one L on his record, but that was like his first fight ever. So
Oh, my
he's been
bad, my bad.
undefeated since. Yeah, 13-1. But getting into the fight, man, this one's at featherweight. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Miles Johns normally fights at bantamweight, so he looks like he's moving up with this one. But he's fighting the young and hungry Felipe Lima, man, who's a hyped prospect, man. His debut was against a combat sambo master in Muhammad Naimov. And if y'all know me, man, these combat sambo masters, I think highly of them, man. High level fighters, especially in mixed martial arts. And no one really expected to win that fight, especially me. And dude won via submission, bro. He submitted a combat sambo master. Very impressive. 26 years old and is the slight favorite, but that's because Miles Johns is a UFC vet, man. Solid wrestler. But I don't know if any of the people he fought was as good as Muhammad Naimov. And for that reason, and that reason only, man, I'm gonna have to go with Lima winning this one. And honestly, he might make it look easy. I think he wins via submission, just kind of throwing that out there. But y'all know, man, Brazilian MMA is back, man. They got a lot of hype prospects coming out Brazil right now, man. Shout out to the Fighting Nerds. Shout out to Alex Bajeda. And then Felipe Lima's another one, man. Let's get
Muito bom, muy
it.
diferente. I'm going with Felipe Lima, man, and I'm going with him by submission. There's clearly a huge edge in the grappling, in my opinion. And I think the kid's on a roll, man. Like you said, rear naked choke over master of sport and combat sambo. That is big, man. That's credibility right there. I'm going Felipe Lima by submission. On to the next matchup. We have,
Oh, this one is crazy.
yes, sir. We have Sean Woodson taking on Fernando Padilla, man. The odds are tight on this one, man. Fernando's a beast. He's a dog. Got that. He's Mexican and he fight like it, man. Got that Mexican style. He gonna walk you down, walk forward. Very durable. Sean Woodson, on the other hand, man, very crisp boxing, very long fighter for his division. He's like fucking 6'2". You know what I mean? Fighting at 145. Sean Woodson's an absolute beast. Very, very technical boxing. Give me your thoughts on this.
Yeah, man. Sean Woodson, 6'2", but Padilla is 6'1", man. You feel me? Like these are some of the tallest featherweights around. You feel me? But I feel, yo, why aren't these dudes playing basketball or something, man? Sean Woodson,
Baseball.
32 years old, and is a slight favorite. Padilla, 27 years old. And the dude has never been finished before, man. Got like 5 TKOs on his record, got 9 submissions. He's currently 2-1. He's currently 2-1 in the UFC, but dude has a lot of finishes on his record, like I said. Man, hot take. I'm gonna give you a hot take right now. Sean Woodson has great boxing, but I feel like most of his wins in his division are just because he's just way taller than these dudes and he could keep him at range. But you feel me? I don't think he's going to be able to do that with Padilla. He did go to a draw with Luis Saldana, who's like 5'11". So I feel like if you match up that height with Woodson, I feel like you're able to compete on a much better level. And I'm low-key feeling the underdog pick in this one, man. Padilla is 6'1". I can see him being able to stand with Sean and even take him down. And if he takes him down, man, it might be over. I'm gonna have to go with my gut in this one. I can see Fernando Padilla winning this one via submission. I think he has the tools to catch Sean and just get him to the ground and just finish him. I feel like if it goes that route, he could. But if it's more of a clean fight, I think Woodson has the advantage. But I think Padilla's gonna make it grimy, man. He's gonna make it dirty and win this one. This is a very close fight, though.
Yeah, man. I think this is the first time we're gonna have different picks on this matchup. I'm going with
Mhm.
the sniper, man. Sean Woodson. I think he's gonna time him up early. It's so close. I was leaning towards Padilla too when we were talking about it earlier. It's a very close matchup, but I feel like Sean Woodson, man. In his last matchup, he picked up that unanimous decision victory over Bruce Leroy. You know how I feel about Alex Caceres. He's an absolute beast. He almost beat Yair Rodriguez when Yair Rodriguez was coming up. Alex Caceres is an absolute animal, very underrated fighter. He very sneakily had like a 5-6 fight win streak in the 145-pound division at a point until he lost to Giga Chikadze, I believe. And Woodson boxed him up, made it look easy. And that's mainly the reason why I'm going with Woodson. I think Woodson's going to get a decision, and I think he's going to piece him up, man. The next matchup, we have Beneil Dariush's best highlight reel victim, Drakkar Close, taking on Joel Elf. I'm not even going to pronounce that nickname because I can't. Joel Alvarez, Spain's finest, baby. What do you think about this matchup, man?
The return of Drakkar. I can't let you get close.
Y'all do what y'all told.
I know I said like Conor McGregor, but anyways, everybody know Drakkar because of that wild Beneil Dariush finish, man. That was a crazy, crazy knockout. And anytime Beneil fights, man, they show that shit every time. Anyways, I do think he's a great fighter, though. I just think this one's a bad matchup for my boy going up against a 6'3" Spaniard in Joel Alvarez. Drakkar has really good boxing, man, and is a complete vet, which is crazy because Joel Alvarez is such a huge favorite in this one. The dude has 17 submissions on his records with 21 wins, man. Unbelievable. He's taller, has the reach advantage, and is much, much younger. And y'all know how I feel about that. So my prediction for this one, I think Joel Alvarez wins this one via a Darce choke. I think he gets him clean, got those long ass arms, and just I think what Drakar's like 5'9" to like he's fighting a 6'2" dude. Yeah, I think this is an easy matchup for that Darce, and that's like his
Submission?
best submission. Yeah, man, he got the perfect frame for it. No Diddy, so I think Joel pulls this one off.
Yeah, man, I agree that Joel Alvarez is gonna get this done, but I think it's gonna be by way of knockout. Jakar Close has shown in his fights that he can get rocked, man. Joel Alvarez has a huge height advantage. He has the reach advantage, and he's the bigger lightweight. To be honest, he looks huge in there in the lightweight division, man. He looks like one of the biggest lightweights in that division, and he's gonna have the striking advantage. Jakar Close he can wrestle him, but Jakar Close hasn't shown to use his bag like that. He usually just boxes, walks forward, and that's about all he'll do. I got Joel Alvarez. I think maybe by a flashy kick, man. Maybe another spinning wheel kick, maybe a head kick knockout. Who knows? But I think he's gonna knock Jakar Close out. He's shown to be a little chinny man, and when I see that from fighters, it tends to happen again and again and again.
And he's 36 now. That's a death touch at lightweight. So just putting
Lightweight,
that out there.
170, 145, 135, 125, man. All those. On to the next matchup. We have one of the OGs, a true OG of the game, Michael Johnson, taking on the sauce monster himself, Ottoman Azai. What's in the box? Ottoman Azaitar.
What's
Give
in
me
the
your thoughts
bag,
on this.
you
Yes,
heard?
sir. Give me your thoughts on this matchup, man.
Man, y'all know Michael Johnson. Your next door neighbor knows Michael Johnson. You feel me? Who doesn't know Michael Johnson? Dude is a vet through and through. And then on the other side, we have Uthman Azaitar, man, came in the UFC on fire, man. When he came in back in
He looked
2020,
like he was gonna be a
on
title prospect.
fire. Straight up, bro. Straight up. Bunch of knockouts on his record, but dude just been on a slump lately, getting knocked out in his last two fights. And they
He
weren't pretty
took his
knockouts
gear.
either, man. They weren't pretty knockouts either, you feel me? Mike Johnson, super inconsistent lately. Wins one, loses one. So to be honest, I don't even know who to pick for this one. I'm gonna be real with y'all. This is a coin flip. I'm personally a fan of Uthman and his brother Abu, but I'm worried about Uthman to be honest. Like despite losing his last two fights, dude just hasn't looked the same.
It looked
He looked a
horrible.
little, yeah, he looked a little chubby in his last fight against Matt Frevola, and even the fight before that. Sorry, the fight after that. And I'm not sure what's on his mind right now. Uthman he had a good fight against Kama Worthy, finished him. But that was back in 2020, and I felt like that was like the start of it all. But then that was actually the beginning of the end, what it looks like. And then that was the last time he was firing on all cylinders. Took 2 years off. I think he got cut from the UFC in between. You know what I'm saying? Came back looking chubby as hell. And then, are we ever gonna find out what the hell was in that bag? I don't know, man. He got cut from the UFC. It's just very inconsistent for me to pick him in this one. So for that reason, I'm gonna have to go with Michael Johnson winning this one via unanimous decision. He's just been more active, and I don't see him getting clipped and knocked out. So I feel like this one's kind of an easy pick, low key. After I said it was a hard one, I think Mike Johnson wins this one. Looking at all factors and everything included, I think Michael Johnson wins this one. But this one could age terribly, man. Who knows? It's a very, very even fight.
Yeah, man, I got MJ by knockout in this one, man. Ever since they found that bag in Abu Dhabi, man, and Azaitar's been out ever since they got that, ever since they confiscated my man Sauce, bro. He has not looked the same, dude. His first fight back after his suspension, it looked like he never fought another human being in his life.
Yo, he looked like he had freaking love handles and shit. I was like, bro,
Dude, it
his
looked
man's
like
good.
it looked like he hopped on Craigslist and was looking for a job. He's like, hey, we got a UFC matchup on short notice. You know what I mean? He looked horrible in his return after, and that looks so bad when you get suspended for steroids and then you come back and your body's way worse than before and you perform like that. That means, dude, you know what I mean? Everyone was preying on your downfall and that shit worked, man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going
I'm a
Michael.
fan too. Sucks.
Yeah, man, I'm going Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson's old. You know what I mean? But he's a clean fighter, dude. He's
Yep.
been doing it for a long time. I think even though he's a little older, he's gonna have more in the tank than a former steroid abuser. You know what I'm saying? And
Brother,
I
you
don't
have to
mean to
give
throw
up
those allegations out there lightly, but it's been proven. So it is what it is. But on to the next one. We have a new prospect from New Zealand. He's an absolute beast. They're saying we don't know if he's really like that yet. Navajo Stirling taking on Tuco Tokas. Give me your thoughts on this matchup, man. Light heavyweight matchup, bunch of big boys. Give me your thoughts.
these big boys, man. Navajo Sterling, probably the biggest favorite on this card. Yo, dudes must think Tuco is whatever his name is they can because he was a heavy underdog against the undefeated Umar Sai. Now he's a heavy underdog against my guy Navajo Sterling.
He's the guy to call to put against these hyped up prospects. He'll take a dive for you.
Straight up, man. Straight up. I don't know. This might be his last fight. Who knows? And it's crazy that Navajo is such a big favorite and only has 5 wins on his record total. Like one in the Contender Series, and now he's making his UFC debut.
He almost killed that dude in the contender series though, with that left hook.
That's why, man. 27 years old. This one isn't really hard to predict at all. I'm gonna have to go with Navajo winning this one. Probably a first round knockout. You know what I'm saying? Quick thing, yeah?
Yeah, man, not much information on either guy at the UFC level. I'm gonna go with Navajo. It's hard to pick Tuco after he was just brought in and literally take that L against the hyped up Umar Sai. Navajo by unanimous decision. Honestly, I'll go him by knockout, man. Say, you know what I mean? Why
Yeah.
not? On to the
Easy,
next
easy.
matchup. This, in my opinion, is the closest matchup that we have on a whole card full of close matchups. Daniel
Oof.
Marcos taking on Adrian Yanez. Both guys got solid boxing, but Marcos is definitely more durable than Yanez. Give me your thoughts on this matchup.
Yo, this is a high level fight right here. Adrian Yanez, hype prospect, everyone's favorite Cuban fighter right now. And then Dan Marcos undefeated, man. This one could easily be fight of the night. It's gonna be a high level stand up matchup in my opinion. Yanez was super, super hyped before getting fraud checked by Rob Font, who pretty much fraud checks everybody, man. Dude got crisp boxing. And the UFC ain't do him no favors after that. They booked him right up against Jonathan Martinez, and he got finished in that fight too. So, it's they really fraud checked this dude with two crazy vets. You know what I'm saying? He did win his last fight against what was it, Vinicius Salvador. So, but I don't think he's Vinicius Salvador is one of the I don't think he's one of the best fighters, and I don't think he's anywhere near Daniel Marcos's level. So, and Dan Marcos on the other side, undefeated, like I said. Dude was whooping Richie Lang, who has solid stand up. So he could stand with the best of them, in my opinion. And dude's been active as a fighter as well, unlike Giannis. So this one's pretty tough to predict. Both fighters 31 years old, same height, similar reach. This one really comes down to who's going to be the better fighter on the night. And my prediction, I'm going to have to go with Daniel Marcos, man. I just think he's a better overall fighter. I think Giannis is good in the stand-up and especially in the boxing. But Daniel Marcos is good everywhere, man. He can mix it up, make it tough for Giannis. I think he wins this week via unanimous decision or maybe even a split decision. But it's going to be a very good fight, very close fight. Because Giannis is that dude on the feet, but Dan Marcos got it all, man. He got the whole package. So I think he wins this easy.
Yeah, man, this is hard for me to pick. I'm gonna pick my boy Yanez just because I
Ooh.
mess with him so much. I'm gonna go with the underdog in this matchup, and it's gonna be a striking affair. And Yanez got them crisp hands. He puts them together in combinations. He gets you if he gets you against the fence, it's gonna be a problem. The only issue with Yanez, he's chinny, dude. He's very chinny, but I'm gonna go with my boy Yanez. I mess with him. I like his style. I like the way he fights. I want to see him get back on track. This is kind of a personal pick. I'm going Adrian Yanez, and I'm going Adrian Yanez by first round knockout, dude.
Oh, no. Oh, wow. Okay. Hot take. I like it though.
Yes, sir. On to the next one. We have Dustin Jacoby taking on Vitor Petrino. Vitor is an Anthony Smith victim. You know what I mean? So I really don't think much of him. Dustin Jacoby's 1-4 in his last five, but he look at who he fought. He fought Roundtree. He fought Azamat Murzakanov. He fought Kennedy and Nzechukwu. He fought Alonzo Menefield. He fought Dominic Reyes. All of them back to back to back to back. You know what I mean? That's a crazy lineup of fights. And arguably, a lot of people thought he should have got the decision against Roundtree, which is crazy. Give me your thoughts on this matchup.
Yeah, split decision with Roundtree, especially who's predominantly a stand-up fighter. Man, I keep flipping with this one. This is a very, very tough fight to predict. I'm
Former
just
glory
betting it
kickboxer in Jacoby. He fought Alex Pereira for a world title.
straight up. But dude is 36 years old now. You know what I'm saying? Vitor Petrino, 27. Yo, he was undefeated, man, up until he went up against Anthony Smith. And honestly, who predicted Anthony Smith to win that one, man? He was fighting an undefeated young dude.
Even if you picked him, who picked him to win by Gilly? You know what I mean?
Crazy, crazy. But it seems like for Vitor Petrino, that's like a weak area for him. He could get submitted pretty easy. But I just don't feel like Dustin Jacoby's really going to be that dude to finish him on the ground. He could finish him on the stand-up. And I do think this is going to be a predominantly stand-up battle, which is why I would want to lean towards Dustin Jacoby. So I don't know, man. I wonder how many people, saw him losing to freaking Anthony Smith. Like that's the craziest one. If he didn't have that blemish on his record, I would easily pick him, and I feel like Vegas would have him as a crazy favorite. But
Smith
because
beat
he
him
lost to
easy
that
too.
motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? And because grappling isn't his strong suit, Anthony Smith has 15 submissions on his record. To be fair, because dude is like that on the ground. But I feel like fortunately for Petrino, I don't think Jacoby's gonna finish him on the ground. So I like going with a younger fighter in Vitor Petrino. I think he could win this one via TKO. Hot take a little bit. And yeah, I don't think Jacoby has what it takes to win on the ground, and Petrino's young, so I feel like the stand-up. I think he's gonna be good in the stand. I think he's gonna fare well and probably win this via TKO, maybe unanimous decision. But I like Vitor, but I'm not confident. But I like Vitor.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna go with Petrino in this matchup. On the surface, Dustin Jacoby's the glory kickboxer. He's the more technical fighter. He has more tools in his toolbox. But ever since he switched over to MMA, man, with the small 4 ounce gloves, the angles are different, everything's different. You're a lot more exposed out there in the UFC. You know what I'm saying? His striking has not looked as advertised. He's a good striker, but has he looked like a glory kickboxer in UFC? I don't. Does he look like Alex Pereira? He does not. You know what I'm saying? That's that real. Does he look like Izzy Adesanya? That's that glory kickboxing level.
Yep.
Dustin Jacoby, has not been able to transfer that to the UFC level. His game does not look as good in MMA as it did in kickboxing. And for that reason alone, I'm going Vitor Petrino because on the surface, everyone's going to think, oh, Dustin Jacoby is going to knock him out. But it's not the same angles in MMA. And Vitor Petrino is an absolute berserker, man. He's going to come out hot, and I think he's going to knock him out in the first round. Dustin Jacoby's taking this matchup on short notice. I mean, on 6 months, after 6 months of getting knocked the fuck out by Dominic Reyes. And he's almost 37 years old. Everything spells disaster for Dustin Jacoby. I'm going Vitor Petrino. I'm gonna take that back on that first round knockout because I feel like I'm throwing that out there a lot this card, but I do think Vitor Petrino is gonna win by knockout.
Yeah, man, that loss to Dom Reyes makes me
Looks
very
bad
iffy.
because
That was
Dom
a
Reyes
bad
look
loss. We
horrible
cannot
against
say,
Anthony
yo,
Smith.
you know what I'm saying? Yo, MMA math does not make sense at all, but anything can happen. This one's a very, very even fight, but I'm gonna have to go with the fighter who's 9 years younger, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, I have to. I kind of have to go with youth on this one.
Yes,
It's too big
sir.
of a factor.
Yes, sir. Too much. It's like a 10-year age gap. On to the next matchup. We have Manel Starboy Cobb coming off the loss to Muhammad Mukayev, taking on Bruno Silva. Cap still talking about, oh, I didn't lose that fight. You know what I mean? But whatever, it is what it is. You know what I mean? The UFC cut my boy Mukayev, got attitude problems. It is what it is. But in this matchup, man, I'm gonna go out on a limb. This is my lock pick of the night. I got Manel Cap by decision. Give me your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way, man. My brother Musa, y'all know he converted to Islam. Now
Oh,
his
did he
I think
really?
yeah, he's
Oh,
Muslim,
that's
yeah.
crazy, mashallah.
But he's better known as Manel Kape. My dude is finally back. Yo, y'all know this dude is one of my favorite fighters, man. I just hope he freaking makes weight because that's like his biggest problem. And that's it. He just needs to make weight, show up,
Volume.
easy win. Yeah, easy win for him. I don't think he really lost his last fight against Mokaev because Mokaev was just like kind of looking, he took like the path of least resistance.
Mukayev won, but he fought like a
You know
biatch.
what
You know
I'm
what I mean?
saying? He fought scared. Like I said, he took the path of least resistance, kind of like try to avoid as much
But Manel also fought scared
exchanges as
too. You know what I
possible.
mean?
Manel was wary of the takedowns and the wrestling, but I feel like Manel was expecting more and just
And
didn't
it
see
wasn't
that.
there.
It wasn't there, yeah, and Mokaev also probably expected more and just wasn't there. So it was like it just didn't live up to especially the way these dudes were just acting in the
They
pre-fight
fought more
and
before the
the
fight than in the
and
fight.
the weigh-ins and all that. They couldn't even stand next to each other. So it's like, yo, the fight was underwhelming to say the least.
100%.
But that being said, man, Cop is that dude, man. He's just that dude. Bruno Silva is also a solid fighter, has solid wins on his record. His last fight against Cody Durden, who he knocked out in the second round. And we also Cody Durden put on the war against Joshua Van last week. So he's a high level fighter, man. He's a high level fighter. Silva's last L was to my guy Tagir Ulanbekov, who was probably the hardest fight for anyone in that division. Just be real. Y'all know Team Khabib. Y'all know their body. You feel me? So my prediction, man, if he can just make weight and show up, I don't see any reason why Manel Cop loses this fight at all. He's better everywhere, and I think he wins this via unanimous decision. I think it's gonna go the distance, but I don't see any way Manel Cop loses this one, man.
Yeah,
Lock it
man.
in.
Yeah, man. Lock it in. We're in agreement. On to the co-main event. We have Swanson, a Hall of Famer, taking on my boy, Billy Q. You know, Billy Q comes to fight every single time. He's an absolute animal. He comes for war. Give
Straight
me your
up.
thoughts on this matchup.
Yo, I really like Cub Swanson, and as a fan, I really want him to win this one. Billy Q is coming off a submission L to Yusuf Zalal, which hasn't aged terribly. You feel
Everybody
me?
getting submitted by Zalal right now.
Y'all know what I'm saying. And before that, he went to a decision with Damon Jackson. So Cub Swanson has probably fought better overall competition in his career, in my opinion.
Zalal submitted me by leg kick.
But yo, he had you in a that was bad, bro. That was bad. Anyways, even when Cub Swanson loses his fights, they're all close fights, man. They can go either way. Like he's coming off a close split decision L to Andre Touchy Feely, and then he beat Hakeem Dawodu before that. So I really like Cub Swanson as an underdog here, man. But he needs to be cautious of the submission because it could be over quick, man. Billy Q is that dude. Cub does tend to get finished on the ground, but will Billy Q be the one to get it done, man? My prediction, I'm gonna have to go with Cub Swanson. I think he wins this via split decision, 28-29. He is 41 years old, let's be real. And y'all know how I feel about that age gap, but Cub Swanson is just a vet through and through. He's fought better competition over the years, just a better overall fighter, in my opinion. But this one should be a banger nonetheless. I like Cub Swanson in this one. I'm also a fan too, so let's get it.
Yeah, I'm a fan of both fighters, but man, my spirit resonates with Billy Q, man. I like the way he
Mm.
fights, the way it's straight up survival, you know what I'm saying? It's you or him. And I mess with that. This is another personal pick. I can't pick against my boy Billy Q. I'm going Billy Q and I'm going Billy Q by submission. A lot of these dudes, ever since
Mm.
Cub Swanson's been on this little late career resurgence. You know what I mean? He's winning one, losing one, winning one, losing one. He hasn't been grappling dudes. It's just been stand up wars that's going to decision, and Cub Swanson either wins or he loses. You know what I mean? I think Billy Q is going to implement that grappling element, and Cub Swanson is going to be thrown off his game, and Billy Q is going to find that rear naked. Let's get it.
Yeah, I like Swanson as an underdog, but Billy Q is that dude too. Like, this is tough. It's a very
It's
good
tough. It's
comment.
a
Very good
50-50
comment.
fight. Yeah. On to the main event. We almost had the Buck versus the Cup, but instead we have Colby Chaos Covington on short notice taking on Joaquin Buckley. Give me your thoughts on this matchup. Nobody thought Colby Covington would come out of hiding for Buckley. Who would have thought that on short notice too? Crazy.
Breaking news, man. He got forced to take this fight. Come on, let's be real, yo. Let's be real. Because he really should have been fighting my guy Ian Gary last week. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he's fighting a week later just shows he was ready to fight and just didn't want to take that fight against Ian Gary. And for good reason, man, because Ian Gary looked good. And we didn't do a reaction to the pay-per-view, but Ian Gary looked amazing. And I'm sure Kobe knew that. I'm sure Kobe knew that. But that being said, man, Joaquin Buckley dude is just on a roll right now. That finish on Stephen Thompson was just sad to see. I'm a big Stephen Thompson fan. I was rooting for him, and he was looking good. He was looking good. He was looking good up until he got clipped and it was over. Kobe Covington, I feel like his best chance to win this one is to take it on short notice, but I don't see any way technically in which he wins this fight. I feel like Buckley's just stronger. Yeah, Kobe Covington has the wrestling advantage, but is he going to be able to hold down this freaking monster who's just a unit of a man? Like, dude has no body fat at all. Joaquin Buckley, like, I just think he's a
Five
battleground
rounds
matchup.
though. Colby Covington got that gas tank.
I think so does Joaquin, man. He got that same
Nah, no
Usman
way. No way.
genetics.
He's too
Oh,
big. He's too brolic. Pause.
how you feeling about this one, man? I keep going back and forth with this one too. I like Kobe. I like Chaos, but Joaquin Buckley's just that dude, man.
I was so confident Buckley was gonna win this before we did this pod. You feel me? But now that I think about it more, Colby Covington has the edge in wrestling. He has better cardio, and he's not gonna get knocked out and dusted in one round. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to go fight this dude for rounds. He has a chin. He has the better cardio. He has D1 level wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Why? Hey, he's not. Everyone's acting like he's 45 years old. He's 36. The more I think about this fight, I feel like everyone it's about to be a y'all must have forgot type of fight. You know what I mean? Like y'all forgot about Kobe, man. Everyone going with Buckley in this.
Bro, if Kobe can come away with he's an underdog at this point, right? Because it looks like Joaquin Buckley's the favorite. Yo, if he could win this as an underdog, and the odds are pretty close. So
It is
Vegas,
short
Vegas,
notice though. That's what
yeah,
makes it
that's what I'm
like
saying.
gives Buckley a real good chance. You know what I'm saying? That's the only reason, in my opinion.
I feel like that's the other way around. I feel like a short notice fight gives Chaos Covington a quick thing because Chaos is always ready. He's always in fight weight. Dude doesn't cut too much weight. He lives a healthy lifestyle. Doesn't smoke. Doesn't drink. He's basically a Muslim, but I don't know why he be hating on us or any other Muslims that be fine like Bilal Muhammad or whatever. So it's like Chaos really got everything, but I feel like just the strength advantage, man. Joaquin Buckley got that one, man. Yeah, technique, he got
There's
it.
a big, yeah, you're right. There's a huge strength advantage for Buckley.
And the way he knocked out freaking Stephen Thompson. No one put Stephen Thompson to
Yeah,
sleep like that. You know what I'm saying?
that was
Like,
very impressive.
dude is just a tank, a unit, an absolute unit. You know what I'm saying? That's
But
why I
what
like
I'm
this
thinking
one.
is, what if he doesn't knock him out in the first two rounds?
Could be the beginning of the end, man, because Chaos got that cardio.
That's what I'm saying.
Like I said, man, I keep going back and forth with this one. But if I had to pick, and if I was a betting man, I would have to go Joaquin Buckley. I don't think he gets a finish, and I'm not confident picking him
You know what I'm
in a
saying? Like, what?
decision because, but I do think he has what it takes to probably win the first three rounds and just kind of just come away with a 27-28, or sorry, 47-48. You know what I'm saying? Split decision or unanimous decision. Like I said, man, Chaos is that dude, but
Yeah,
it's
but
just,
I feel like
recent
everyone
activity.
forgot Buckley was getting wrestle F by Nasruddin Imavov. You feel me?
Mm,
People, that was
that's
like
true.
2 years ago, less than a year, less than 2 years ago.
That's true. That's true. I don't know. I feel like Buck's been getting better though. I feel like Buck's been getting better, man. He looked really good against Stephen Thompson. Not many people do that to Stephen Thompson. So that's what I'm kind of harping on right now.
Yeah, that last win makes everyone think he's about to knock him out. But that was just, I feel like he just got kind of got, a good performance. That's it.
And how much has Kobe been training, bro? He's been on the presidential tour with Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? Doing the most. He's been playing poker, making his bag. So he got money coming in. You know what I'm saying? He's not depending on this. Why
Yeah,
we
but
bust this?
Colby not even
This is his only
focused
way
could beat
out.
Colby not even focused should beat Buckley. If we talking about,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? If we
He low,
really
he
talking
low
about,
key admitted that he was forced to take this fight. Low key. He's like because I showed him I was ready, I had to take a fight.
that's mad funny.
But the fact that he was ducking Gary doesn't resonate well with me, is what I'm trying to say. I think
But
that's
look
why I
at
got
Gary against Shavkat. Nobody should fight Gary right now.
nobody should fight Gary right now, bro. Word, word. That was a close fight too. But then I heard Shavkat had a torn ACL, but I don't know.
Shit, we
I
going on
don't
a
know.
tangent, man. Shit, I'm gonna make my pick. Let's make it. Let me lock it in. I'm going the cardinal rule for main events, man. You can't pick the guy that's old. He's nearly 37 years old. I do feel like on paper, Anthony Smith style, Colby Covington got the edge. He's the better fighter on paper. But fights aren't fought on paper. They're fought on real life. Buckley's younger, he's stronger, he's hungrier. I'm just gonna go. He's got more momentum. I'm going Buckley, not because he's the better fighter, just he's hot right now. And I
He's just
think
hot
he's
right
gonna
now.
get it.
Exactly. Momentum goes a long way. Goes a long way, especially in fighting, especially in confidence. And that's huge, man. That's huge for Buck. So yeah, I don't see Kobe Covington
Buckley about
winning.
to pick up another win against a 170-pound legend, and then he's one fight away from a title shot. Buckley,
Who the
crazy
Falcons?
times.
Give him the cuck. Give him the cuck
Yeah.
after this one,
Yo,
man.
honestly, why not?
Why not? That's a
Why
great fight.
not?
It's a great fight. It's
Ian
a great
Gary
fight.
nearly beat Shavkat. If Shavkat beats Bilal, Ian Gary versus Buckley title eliminator. Problem solved if he wins this fight.
Shout out to Joaquin. Your mama raised the hoe, Buckley. I think he's gonna come
Straight
over and
up.
win this one.
Straight up, man. We going with Buckley, and that's full guard MMA, and we out.
Peace.